Imagine someone starting a teacher YouTube channel that's never taught, giving opinions about being in the classroom and how to teach kids when they never have. That's the beauty industry.
Would you believe what it's really like in the beauty industry? Hi, everybody. My name's Rebecca Rogers. I am your host. I'm so happy that you joined us today, and I'm even happier to introduce one of my wonderful friends, Johnny Ross. Johnny, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell everyone your journey.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, hello. I love you.
I love you.
This is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
My journey, like kind of the story of
Yes.
how I came
Yeah,
to.
so you do
Yeah.
a lot of makeup related, like makeup industry,
Yeah.
beauty industry, those kinds of social media. For those
Yeah.
that don't know, I can't imagine anyone wouldn't. You're like the only person that I watch anymore. It's fine. But like for those who don't, Johnny is an icon in the beauty industry, and everyone wants to know how you got there.
Yeah. So you know what? Okay. So it kind of all started. I worked at Sephora. That was the thing. I learned how to really do makeup there. It was peak Kardashian era. So it was
Yes.
full everything. And then I went back to college for marketing. I was going to do corporate cosmetics. And then I worked for Burberry Beauty and Laura Mercier as a makeup artist while I was in college. The pandemic happened and a 9-to-5 job was not on the table.
No.
So I was also doing bridal makeup and lost all that work. So I became a babysitter for my nieces for a year. And then I kind of got the idea like into 2021, the beginning, even myself, I started to realize all of the content even getting pushed to me was all comedy based because everyone was depressed during COVID. And the beauty industry is very saturated. It's a it's a behemoth at this point. So I just kind of got the idea. And I think it's harder for a guy in makeup just to make straight up beauty content and kind of get the same exposure. So I've been an actor for years, comedian, and I started writing these What It's Like to Work at Sephora or all these comedy skits. And it was kind of a Trojan horse to make content I knew had more viral potential, but in half the video, I was playing a Sephora character that I was in full makeup. So people were like, systematically, that would be once a week. And then the other 6 days, people would be like, oh my God, how'd you do the makeup? So I started breaking down and posting the makeup shorts in between. And then it kind of grew together as makeup and beauty. So
I love it. And like since I met you, because we met, it's so weird because I've been filming with you, Nathan, and Kara today.
Yeah.
And I met all of you about a year ago last year.
Isn't this crazy?
Like,
I know.
And
Almost
it's like,
a year.
and we even said this last year, the first day that we met, it feels like our souls have just known each other
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
And it's so weird to me to think like, I want to say, oh, my lifelong friend. And I'm like, I've really only known this person for a year.
I know.
But like, I love you.
I know.
And for those that don't know, so this is how me and Johnny met. I got invited to YouTube's Beauty Fest, and I was floored because, like, I just in the last year or two learned how to put on fake eyelashes. Like, I still don't know how to do a winged eyeliner. I'm planning on making Johnny teach me this week.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about makeup. I'm so bad at it, and so I was like, oh my God, I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because at the time, like they ended up opening the event to like anyone in the YouTube Shorts program that wanted to go. But at the time, I didn't know they were going to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I made a video online that was like, hey, does any makeup person want a friend? Because
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to go alone. And
Yes.
I'm just going to be that awkward girl in the corner.
Yeah.
Because like the beauty industry, as someone that's not in it, looks so intimidating.
It is.
And it looks so scary.
It is.
And I'm like, everyone's
Yeah.
going to hate me.
Yeah.
And Johnny commented, which is so funny because I don't consume a lot of content.
Yeah.
But I had already started seeing some
Oh,
of
okay.
yours. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Because you had
he's
posted it on
funny.
TikTok.
Yes.
Which I had already blown up on.
Yes.
And I really only blew up on YouTube like 2 months before Beauty Fest. So that makes
Yeah.
sense that it wasn't,
Yes.
but
Yes.
people were tagging me in your TikTok. And I
Yes.
was like, okay.
I
You're like,
mean,
yeah.
He was like, I'll be your friend. And I
Yeah.
was like, I would love that because
Yes.
I already started seeing your skits and I was like, this is the kind of person that
Yeah.
I would love and
Yeah.
I would love to be friends with. And I remember being like, Avery, I made a friend.
Yeah.
Because something that so many people don't get is that content creation when you're not in LA, like we're
Yes.
both East Coasters.
Yes.
It's so isolating when
It is.
you don't have other people
No.
around. And I'm very fortunate that I had a girl that worked at my school. Her name is Brenda.
Yeah.
We were both content creators at the same school, and that was awesome. But when we quit, and she has 3 kids.
Yeah.
she's got much more important things to worry about than me.
Yes.
And so just finding someone else on my side of the country, I was like, this is the best day ever.
Know. Well, we're yin and yang because I'm introverted, you're extroverted.
Yes.
And I cracked up when you first came. So we met at my hotel room right before Beauty Fest.
Yes.
Rebecca came in upset, just literally, she was like, hi. Like, and we were, it was a blind date. Like we never, you know, and she was like, hi, oh my God, this is so tell me everything. So what's the difference between beauty and teaching? And that is very unlike me to like, just be like, yeah, come to my hotel. But I don't know what it was. The minute we were texting, whatever. And then the minute you got in the hotel room, it was like, yeah, we knew each other forever.
Our souls just,
totally.
Our souls definitely met in another life. 100% we were best friends.
Completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because also when it comes to people online, you never know when people are going to be like they are online. And, you know, sometimes it takes getting burned a couple times until you meet the people that you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These are my people. And I've been so excited for you to come down, even just to record this and meet some of the people that I'm like, no, these are real people. It's amazing. But I want to know more about like the beauty industry. Like you agree, it's intimidating.
Yes.
And scary.
Yes.
Why?
So, oh God, where do I begin? So I really, I don't know. It's, and maybe it's just my perspective because I was that's all the content I consumed. But I mean, for the past decade, like beauty YouTube just became its own network practically. Like, and it was so big and it changed the beauty industry to the point where the beauty boom on YouTube and social media has literally changed the way cosmetics companies are making makeup, what they're making, how they do it. The entire capitalist business model of beauty has changed because of YouTube beauty. That's how powerful it was. And it was interesting. And I don't know what it was, like what Venn diagram overlapped, that beauty in particular had this back in the day, a very reality showish feel to it. And then there was a lot of drama and a lot of toxicity, and it kind of died out, and it died as quick as it rose, and now it's slowly built back up over the past couple of years. But I think because of that drama a couple of years ago, there is a lot of creators have in the beauty industry have trepidation to really like reach out to one another and become friends or collaborate. Like you always used to see on YouTube beauty collabs with people like joining each other on the same channel. That rarely happens anymore because I think people are so nervous about if I hitch my cart to this person's wagon and this person ends up being problematic or doing whatever the case is, it's going to take me down with it because that's what happened. And it's a shame because, and maybe for me, it's a symptom of being older. Like I just turned 31 years old and I just like, I can't fathom that level of just kind of maybe immaturity or toxicity. But a lot of people in this industry are very young. And you're right, it's very isolating because it's not a lot of opportunities to get together. And then on top of it, at the end of the day, it's an industry in the vain vanity industry. So there's a lot of people that are very intimidating. We'll say that it's not the most welcoming sometimes when you go to events or whatever the case is. So it's a weird, and for someone like me who wears a towel on their head and plays stupid characters and makeup, I walk into these beauty events and I'm like, guys, let's just like, that's why I made the comedy videos. I was like, let's just chill. Like we're selling mascara, not saving lives. Like, let's like, and people act like and I'm just like, guys, let's have fun again. And I'm hoping it kind of gets back to that. So
I want to put that on a t-shirt. We're selling mascara, not saving lives.
Yeah. It's in my opinion, it's one of the biggest industries in content creation that the people take themselves too seriously.
Okay.
They have that, and maybe because it's that vain thing, like it has the element of vanity to it with the hair, the makeup, the fashion, that when they go to these events, you'd think they were Jennifer Lopez. And I'm like, girl, like we're all just like we're making content for people. We're not like, what's your motivation in a way? And I think a lot of people in the beauty industry have a very different motivation than people in other industries sometimes.
I vividly remember us going to YouTube Beauty Fest and everyone looked so amazing. Yeah. So phenomenal. And I was like, wow, like part of me was like, wow, I wish I knew how to do makeup like any of these people. But then also like, we were literally in a dark room.
I know.
The entire time. I know. The entire time. No one was really making content.
I know.
No one was really on camera. Everyone was just in a dark room. And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But that's the
Like,
thing. Everyone's mentality is always like, well, I need to look amazing because if I come across someone or I meet somebody, I need to have that. And that just kind of stinks because it's,
Yes.
you're always on in that way. And I think
Yes.
that unlike other industries, unlike teaching or unlike even gaming or whatever the case is, you're starting that interaction with a person with a mask on. No
Yeah.
matter what, so you're unlike other things where you
Yeah.
can kind of be yourself a little bit more. There's that connection, like you and I in my hotel room. Unlike when you go to these things, it's all these people looking like they're getting ready for the Grammys, and right when you meet, there's that element already to start things out of that security blanket or that mask or that lack of barrier between the two of you. So
Wow.
it's harder to really connect immediately because it's just all about that exterior facade.
That's so lonely.
Yeah.
Like, so I know that this is a big problem in the beauty
Yeah.
industry in general. Have you experienced any kind of like harassment, bullying? Like, is there
Yeah.
a time where you yourself felt
Yeah.
singled out?
Not necessarily. Well, by the people, maybe by
Just
my
in general,
audiences in general. So I would say, as far as the beauty industry itself goes, I mean, it is so evident how different the opportunities are for guys versus girls. There's always, I mean, you can just go to any beauty brand's Instagram page, and there's one guy posted for every 60 girls. So if you do get invited to something, event or whatever, 9 times out of 10, I'm the only one there, and so there's that. But then, as far as my audience is concerned, I am very lucky in the sense that and maybe it was because of my teaching background, and when I approached makeup on social media, it was always from an education standpoint rather than I love doing makeup on myself, look how beautiful I am kind of a thing where you're almost just watching because you're like enamored by them,
Right,
the Kardashian thing.
Yeah.
It was more of let me teach you because I love that aspect. So I kind of joke around that my biggest demographic, I love, like I have like a legion of moms. I always say but really my biggest demographic is probably like 30 to like 55, 60. And I think I always used to call myself, even when I was younger, like the mom whisperer. I was always like best friends with my friends' moms, even in elementary school.
Love that.
And I don't know, I get that. I get along with that demographic, and I think I speak to them in a way that is not intimidating, and I really do want to help them and always address their needs, that I'm very, in a way, protected. I really don't need to deal with a lot of hate the way other boys or guys in beauty or any LGBT person in beauty has to deal with. And I mean, I get the occasional, homophobic thing, but the longer you do it, it's water off a duck's back. But for the most part, I really don't, because I think a lot of it has to do, and nobody should be getting hate, but it has a lot to do with intention, maybe. I don't know. And like I said, maybe me approaching things from a educational standpoint, I think gets me a little bit more grace from people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is
amazing. Like,
Yeah.
phenomenal. That's so great. Like,
Yeah.
like where's wood? I
know.
Wood. And it's like, as someone that's not in the beauty industry,
Yeah.
it can be so hard to watch beauty influencers and either like understand what they're saying or know what they're saying or be
Yes.
able to apply like what they're doing on their face to mine.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, you really are one of the only people that I'll watch because I know, like, I know you. And I'm like, Johnny would never lie.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, when you tell me something is worth buying or not worth buying, like, I take that to heart. And I'm like, sorry, babe, I got to go spend money on this because Johnny told me it was worth it.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously we don't want to put people down. Like, we don't.
Of course.
But, like, so do you have like a list of people or anyone in general that you're like, they're someone that I would listen to? Like, we obviously don't want to say, don't listen to them.
No,
because
totally.
That's not, we just lift each other up here, But do you have other beauty influencers that you're like, no, 100%, like they are so genuine, they are so real, like I 100% take all of their reviews to heart?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, on YouTube, Allie Glines, I love, who I'm actually collaborating with this week. So, and I've watched her for years, learned so much from her. Allie Glines, I love. And then I would say TikTok and Instagram, kind of. Her name is Rose and Ben on TikTok and Instagram. Her name, Rose Saeed. And they probably jump out at me the most because, again, they're education focused.
Okay.
And I'm obsessed with the two of them. I love Trixie Mattel on YouTube too, and it sounds silly.
I saw that photo.
Yes, just met her and Katya. I almost blacked out. I did black out, but yeah. But you know what it is? And I think it's that element of also Trixie being on YouTube and whatever. She's getting ready to go do something bigger in a way, like go DJ, go whatever. So she's reviewing a makeup product. She's going to say if it works or not. There's no, and I think the biggest thing with the beauty industry, like you're saying, it's hard to discern. I always tell people there's a big difference between YouTube and then Instagram and TikTok, because YouTube, you get paid per views.
Yeah.
So you're not beholden to brand deals.
Yeah.
You're not beholden to kissing the ASSs of these beauty brands. And unlike TikTok and Instagram, it's really all about networking to get that brand's attention and get the sponsorship. And I just the other week kind of had a breakdown to my husband where I was saying, I was like, I'm struggling with the why of making beauty content, because I'm opening these PR packages and I'm just like, another blush, another blush, another blush. It's turned into fast fashion. And I think of those moms. I think of you. I think of the people that this is like, you don't need 10 blushes. And I'm like, next year, there's going to be 100 more blushes. Yeah. And we're going to forget all these ones that you're watching the videos now that people are like, this is the best blush I've ever used. Like, no, it ain't. There's going to be another one. So I think it's about finding someone like those people who are speaking to the why they're using what they're using and why they love it and how to use it. And I even end stuff sometimes where I go, this is amazing. This is why I used it, but you don't need this one. You could also get this, this, and this that are $20 cheaper. That that education-based content is my focus. And then the comedy of just making people laugh and, but
like, it's also because like we always remember as content creators that there's people from all backgrounds that watch our content. And not everybody can afford to go get a new blush every other week. Like I see these people make content that gets millions of views. That's like, oh, and I hope this isn't like, doesn't feel like I'm calling anyone out. I'm not going to use specifics or anything. It's just the ones that I'm letting my niece pick which makeup I'm going to use. Yeah. And it's like, pick one of these 30 blushes or one of these 15 foundations.
I know.
It's like, do you use all that? Like, I don't.
Totally. And you know what it is too? There's so many layers to that where that's the kind of content that let my niece pick my blush or let me light my makeup on fire in my driveway. Like that entertainment content has gotten so big because of TikTok and the short form content that it's kind of just decimated the educational content in a way. Right. And a lot of us are really trying to fight to get that back and connect with people. As funny as it was, that's why I started like my beauty podcast, because I missed talking about makeup in depth and there was almost no way to do it. And it's so there's that. And then moreover, I think the lack of not only the money aspect that people can't afford everything, but there's also the element that I think beauty content creators take for granted that their audience is as obsessed with it as they are. Yeah. Where they start a video and they're talking about a product, and then the way they apply it, the brush they're using, the step they're doing it in, they don't speak to any of it because they start to they lose sight of the fact that, which you can very easily, because like you said, we're recluses in our house doing this over and over again. And when that lack of reception from the audience where someone's going, wait, slow down a second. They lose sight of that and they bullet train through these things where people almost just start to watch them for their personality. And that's great, but that can only be a slice of the pie. And that, I think, is the problem in the beauty industry, is that personality aspect is taking up too much of the pie. And it's starting to really hurt the integrity of the entire industry. Yeah. So, like I said, a lot of us I hope we're getting back to a place that it's just more education focused and speaking to the people that really want to learn. Right,
because there's so many people that are just afraid to ask those first questions.
The beginner questions.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And there's so much about these crazy looks, and I want to recreate this look, and I want to make this look like completely original. Yes. And it's so intimidating because I'm like, I don't even really understand what eye shape I have. Everyone's like, do I have a hooded? I don't know. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? And it can be so confusing. And so it's so important to just remember, like, I think that my background as a teacher, when I have that background of knowing
Yeah.
what questions they're probably going to ask, what questions are they going to have, what's going to get
Yes.
confusing. And I'm really fortunate that I have that
Yeah.
background. But I think there's and even I am still
Mhm.
learning, you know?
Yeah.
I said this a while ago in another video that I did, that I went so long
Yeah.
thinking that people who claim, oh, teachers are out to get me, or teachers are out
Yes.
to get, like, my teacher's targeting me. I went
Yeah.
so long thinking, like, that doesn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
what grown adult is actually going to spend time
Yeah.
doing that? That sounded ridiculous to me,
Yeah.
because I could not fathom
Mhm.
an adult behaving that way.
I know.
And I had to, like, really learn from my audience.
Yeah.
Like, no, that Rebecca, that does happen. And that was something that I had to grow into. And I think that when you're not used to having to listen for questions, it can be
Yes.
so easy to just fall into the isolation
Yeah.
and not responding. Like, you kind of
Yeah.
get into this groove when you're
Yeah.
posting on 5 different platforms. You can't read every
No.
comment.
Yes.
And if you don't think about the reactions and think about the whatever, maybe you did a
Yeah.
review that someone, like 12 different people reacted to,
Yeah.
or made response videos, and how many of those do you actually listen to? And it can be very hard
Yes.
to kind of have to reel yourself in
Yeah.
and realize that, like, no, you're not just alone in your house.
Yeah.
You have millions and millions of people listening to you,
Yeah.
asking questions, wanting to learn.
Yeah.
And I mean, if teachers lose
Yeah.
themselves like that,
Exactly.
100%, other people who don't have that kind of experience of, like, knowing,
Yeah.
oh, kids are here, what
Yes.
questions do you have at the end? Like, that
Mhm.
must be so frustrating.
It's very easy to lose perspective.
wild.
And you know what's the crazy thing about the beauty industry is, think about it this way. It's like, any other industry, like I said, and I don't know why these are the only ones popping in my head, but teachers, content creators, and gamers, or even, let's say, home improvement, etc. These are maybe interior designers. These are people that have been in that industry as much as they can, or are fully immersed in it, to then be able to make that content.
Yes.
Imagine in the beauty industry, that's not the case. No,
Mhm.
I would say more than, I mean, I don't have the figure, but let's, for argument's sake, over 50% of them have never done makeup on another person, have never
Wow.
used anything but what they buy, what gets sent to them. So imagine a teacher, imagine someone starting a teacher YouTube channel that's never taught, but because they like teaching in their house, they're
Because they like a subject, they want to teach others about it.
Exactly.
They're like, I'm a teacher.
yes.
So many people would find that so offensive.
So strange. And exactly. And that's very different from someone who's maybe an expert on something because
Right.
you're an expert on it. But
Right.
imagine someone passing themselves off, giving opinions about being in the classroom and how to teach kids when they never have, but they think they do
I
because
never
they do.
thought about that.
That's the beauty industry. These people just like doing makeup, so they do makeup online. There's no professional experience behind it. So for the
Wow.
audience, it's very difficult to discern who the hell has done makeup on another person
Yeah.
and who just likes doing it on themselves.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the miscommunication comes in.
Wow. So
Yeah.
So that's like a really big misconception within the beauty industry. Can you
Yeah.
think of any other really big myths or
Yeah.
misconceptions about beauty industry in general?
I think the biggest thing is that what I see is that the beauty industry is, first, again, the reality show syndrome. There's a lot of scrutiny with it in a way where, if you see someone in any other industry maybe doing a branded campaign or a sponsored post, it's not as it's not put under a microscope as bad. But the beauty industry, again, because of the bad rap of people for years, there's this big kind of narrative that everyone's like lying about not disclosing their ads. And I watch these like videos sometimes where people are like, let's say it's a ad and their third hashtag is ad or sponsored, whatever. The person will be like, look at their sponsored hashtag or ad is buried. And I'm like, I don't consider the third hashtag buried, but that's the thing. There's this hunger for people to almost catch the next beauty influencer, take the next one down, because that's what we've gotten over the past decade. There's literally eras of drama in the beauty industry, Dramageddon, and this person got taken down and this person was canceled. So it's become, when I interviewed Michaela, she said to me, she's like, when I got big enough, She goes, there was a day I realized it was inevitable. I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to get canceled.
And she's been canceled like numerous times.
Yes, which that's a topic for a different but
Right.
that being said, it's like it's almost this weird thing where so I think the misconception is that don't let the biggest people or the people that are maybe embroiled in these things, do not let them ruin or taint all of these other creators, that these makeup artists and these people that are educating you and these people that are really having beautiful intentions and great intentions. Don't put them in the same basket,
right.
And don't accuse them of what these other people may be doing. Maybe just go watch those other creators that maybe bolster them, because I think there's also, in a way, especially in the beauty industry, there's a lack of accountability from the audience of you're boosting these people up.
Yeah.
You're giving these people 20s of millions of subscribers. So what do you, start going to the other ones then that you find maybe have a little bit more integrity, that you don't need to worry about lying about an ad, et cetera, and bolster those people up. It's the same as even capitalism. Our buying power controls the market. Your viewing power has the same influence.
And I feel like something else that people don't generally understand about ads, because again, like, why would they? It's kind of a you either experience or you don't kind of thing, is that most of the time, and I'm not going to say all because absolutes, like I don't know every single content creator's business, but most of the time, brands, these companies have very specific hashtags they want you to use. They have very specific captions. They want you to use this caption with these hashtags. And just because the ad one is the third, that's not necessarily an attempt to bury. Sometimes that's just what the company wants you to do. And the company will say what they want and what they don't want in the video, and they'll tell you when they want you to take something out. They'll tell you when they want you to put something in. And they'll tell you exactly what they want to go in the comments. They'll tell you, like, they will construct exactly what they want. So again, 95% of the time, again, I don't know everybody's business. Like, and I don't know everyone's job and the scrutiny that they're under. But 95% of the time, how an ad is presented to people is exactly the way a company wants it. Not necessarily the content creator having some kind of agenda or anything like that. And so a lot of times I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, some of the times when these content creators are getting crap for the way they present an ad, a lot of the times they're just doing what they were told to do.
Totally.
And they're getting thrown under the bus for, you're trying to hide this, or you're trying to do this, or you're trying, like, I had a sponsorship that I just completely threw away. It was for something about voting, but it was within the last year, so it wasn't like within like a presidential election. It was just voting in general. And I made a skit about like my little character Connor turning 18 and figuring out how to vote and how to go about that process. And I submitted the skit, and the company was like, no. We want you to talk about this party and these things that they're doing. Right. And I was like,
so they wanted you to lobby.
Yes, they wanted me to lobby. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not acceptable at all. Like, I wouldn't. They're like, well, would you do it for the other party? No, I wouldn't. I'm not doing that at all in general, because that's wrong.
I'm not telling people how to vote. I'm telling people to vote.
I was a social studies teacher. Like, my whole thing when it comes to is like, I want to give you all of the information for you to make your own decision. I'm not going to make that choice for you. That's wrong. That's just inherently wrong.
Completely.
And so I just completely backed out. But other people didn't.
I know.
And that's their choice, and that's fine. But there's so many people that posted that kind of content where the audience just saw that and was like, oh, that's how they felt. No, that content creator posted that whether they believe it, whether they don't. They just wanted to check. And I'm fortunate that I was in a place where I didn't need their checks. And so I just made a video and I was like, hey, this company wanted me to do XYZ, and I'm not naming the company. And I'm just letting you know, I still think it's important to vote, but I didn't take the check, so I'm not posting the video. But still, please go vote, because that's just your civic duty, and it's just important to do that. And, and
totally.
So, like, I know from experience that there are companies asking content creators do X, Y, and Z. And it's very easy for someone not in the industry to be like, okay, well then just don't do that content. But not everyone's
has that luxury.
Yeah.
What if you're just starting out and you don't have the autonomy yet or the bravery to go back at the brand and say, no, I want to do it this way, or because
the idea of getting blacklisted is terrifying. And like when you're just starting out, you don't know what companies have that kind of power.
Yeah.
But then there's also financial availability of like, do I have the funds that I need to make rent this week, or I can turn down this brand deal? Maybe I've been waiting for this kind of money so that I can actually get ahead on my bills and figure out my debt and things like that.
I know.
And it's something that I feel like people, especially towards content creators in the beauty industry, kind of forget that they're also people that have things going on in their lives, that have bills to pay, that are, just regular human beings.
Totally. And I think there's a big, and even like we're saying, when you're a content creator starting out, you might, you're torn, because I'm at the point, and I've kind of always been this way with every brand deal I do, is they'll want to do it. Even if I get the contract, I tell them, listen, I'm not signing the contract until I get this makeup at my house and I use it and I touch it. Because if I don't like it, I'm not doing this. And if that makes them walk in a different direction, it is what it is. I don't, and maybe because it's makeup, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I feel like I'm selling like, it's not necessary. You know what I mean?
Like it's not insulin. Like that is important. Like people need insulin. Okay?
Exactly.
Like that is a necessity. You don't need your 13th blush.
Exactly. And that's why I feel I'm just like, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Okay, fine. I'm like, fine. If you want to walk, have a good one. But if you're starting out with this where you are like, oh my God, you're getting that payday or whatever the case may be, you might not want to maybe draw that line in the sand, and you may need that money. But this is the thing about the beauty industry, and I'm very happy that I was also, and this is my advice to anybody in any industry you're in, not social media, not content creating. I don't care if you're in any other industry. Learn about your industry before you enter it. Talk to someone who's in it. Because me being such a consumer of the beauty industry before I got into it, if you're a small creator who's tempted to go, okay, you know what, whatever, they want me to not put ad or sponsored in this, but I only have 20,000 followers. Who's gonna care?
No.
Girl, if you blow up down the line, this is the beauty industry. Cut to 2 years later, you have 2 million followers. You better believe there's going to be people going all the way back, and you're going to be on the next drama channel going 2 years ago, so-and-so didn't disclose an ad, because that's how. So always, that's the thing. Don't be tempted by those moments, because you could pass on that opportunity, and I'm a believer in this, but you pass on that opportunity because it doesn't feel right. Another one is going to come.
Exactly.
That's how I just met Trixie and Katya. We did the live taping. My fiance says, because she followed me 20 minutes before my wedding, by the way. I'm about to walk down the aisle, and Trixie Mattel follows me and DMs me. So,
oh my gosh.
And I knew she knew of me, etc. We've talked briefly, but at the taping, it's over. My fiance goes, oh, go up and say hi to them. I'm not of that school of thought. I'm like, these girls just recorded for 3 hours. They're tired. Trixie had another gig at 2 a.m. It'll happen when it happens. Leave the theater, walk a block this way, realize we were going the wrong direction. About 10 minutes chatting. Put it in the GPS, realize we have to walk back in front of the theater. As I'm walking back in front of the theater, they're coming this way, and we bump into each other directly in front and have a whole. So that's what I'm saying. Don't and I know it sounds woo-woo, but I'm telling you, don't compromise any little thing in the now, because it'll start to teach you how to make those better decisions and bring better opportunities your way down the line. So
it matters. It really does.
Yeah.
And when you get caught doing something like that, like not disclosing an ad, not doing what you're supposed to be doing when it comes to brand deals, it not only affects you, but if it affects other beauty content creators.
Yeah.
Like I remember we had a discussion, we're not throwing anybody under the bus, but when someone does something like that, it creates this level of distrust.
Ripple effect.
Like, well, if I can't trust this beauty industry or this beauty content creator, can I trust that one? Or can I trust that one? Like you all can't be trusted, and it can be very scary.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so unfortunate. It's just kind of this never-ending cycle of people not trusting each other, because then you never know who's going to get canceled down the line.
I know.
If they get canceled, and will I go down, or will people associate me? And whether it's the audience or not, will it be other beauty industry or not side-eyeing me because I'm associating with this person who is ruining it for all of us? And that's other people's bills and other it's such an aggressive cycle of. It's not just about popularity. It's not just about who's getting the most followers or who's the most liked. When you start messing with those kinds of things, it messes with other people's way of life and finances. And that is such a serious thing. Like doing a brand deal right now for however much is not worth losing out on all the brand deals years down the road. Because everyone's decided, oh, your audience doesn't trust you anymore. Well, it's not worth paying you now because you're not going to help us. And I feel like especially younger kids, like we are, it really makes me uncomfortable that people consider us like the older generation of social media. Like,
I know.
I'm only 27.
I know. I'll never forget the day I heard someone say that slaps. And I was like, what? And that was I was like, well,
we're old.
Yep. I was like, the first slang I didn't realize. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow. Like when we walked into Beauty Fest and I was like, everyone here is like, could have been my student.
I know. Like, but let me tell you, I love being 30.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
Because you shed all that pretense.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
Yes. And there's so much, even just at 27. Like, and people think there's not a difference. There's a difference. Like 24 to 27, such a difference.
I say every year in your 20s is the equivalent growth after of like 5 years worth of growth. Because you're 20. That's why the day I turned 30, everyone was like, oh, you're supposed to be scared. I was like,
no.
My 20s, I'm like, they were exhausting.
So
I'm like,
exhausting.
Bring this era on. Like stability, financial stability, no drama, like setting boundaries. I'm like, what?
Like really coming into who you are as a person, not caring. Like there's so many younger content creators, especially in the beauty industry, that would not put a giant towel on their head and record these are NARS names. If they so many just wouldn't because there's that level of, there's already so much scrutiny in the beauty industry, especially when you're younger and you're still in that mentality of popular kids versus not popular kids, like kind of thing. And once you it's not a certain age. It's more of like it's not you hit 28 and you're now there. Like it's more of as you get older and you kind of grow into this, they can think I'm weird. That's okay.
You have to not care what people think of you.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I know a lot of it comes from like, I'm already married. Who am I trying to impress? Like, I already locked somebody down. I'm good. I don't have to look cool anymore. Or like, I have enough friends. I don't care if other people think I'm weird because there's a big group of oddballs that for some reason accept me for who I am. So, and it's sad that it takes beauty industry kids, and it's weird calling them kids because they're not that much younger than me, but
it's a big difference.
Yes, it takes them so much longer to figure that out. And I feel like the general public really just doesn't understand the level of insecurity and stress in like the beauty industry is so intimidating, but there's still so many beauty industry kids that are intimidated. That don't know if I go up to someone and say hi, will they actually say hi back? Or will they just side-eye me? And that's devastating. Like, again, they're not that much younger than me, but as a former teacher, anyone that, like, falls into the teeny bopper category, I'm like, honey, let me help you.
I know.
Please,
I know.
All the kids at Beauty Fest, I want to just be like I could see when someone really wanted to go say hi to someone else. Just people watching, you can see when someone's like,
has that eagerness.
I want so bad to just go up to them and be like, honey, let's go say hi together. I'll go with you. I don't care. Like, Or when we saw Manny. And like, you could tell so many people were so afraid to go up to him. And I was like, hi, I'm not a beauty influencer. My name's Rebecca. I don't know makeup, but you look awesome.
I will never forget you in the car with me, and because we were with Patty too, Patty Alonso on YouTube.
So sweet.
The two of us, and she's like me, and three of us are in the car, and me and Patty are like, oh God, like, we're uncomfortable, or we're nervous, or we're afraid to go say hi to someone. And she's like in one of this, and she's like, I'll say hi to anybody. She's like, I'm not afraid of anybody. Who do you want to talk to? And that's yin and yang. And I was like, Yeah,
Yes,
she's
I was like,
yeah.
if you find someone that you want to talk to and you're nervous, you
I
let
love
me
it, though.
know. I will happily walk right
Yeah.
up to them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I can be that weirdo that doesn't belong in the building.
Mhm.
I'm fine with it. I'm used to
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
My husband's that way.
I
That
want-
is the yin
I'm
and yang.
So
I
sad
know.
that he's
I
not
know.
here. I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
I've gotten more that way though, the longer I've done this, definitely.
Yes.
Like, because that's the thing. I've realized with people, you got to take everything with a grain of salt because I
Yes.
can't tell you how many big people in the beauty industry. Yeah. We, reply to everything you tag them in or DM you or you talk, whatever. The minute you kind of maybe ask them for advice or you say like, oh, hey, let's get together. Let's do whatever. You're left unread.
I hate that.
Yeah. Because they
And-
don't want to. Yeah.
It's already such a problem in general in content creation. It would hurt my feelings to like see it in action in
I
the
know.
beauty industry
I
because I
know.
know it's so much worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just can't fathom the desire to just genuinely want to be gatekeepy.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, I think there's two different issues. There's people who are so afraid and
Yeah.
intimidated to really get out there and say hello because they don't want to look like a fangirl or they don't
Yeah.
want to look like a clout chaser
Yeah.
and then there's people that just like genuinely don't care and
Yes.
don't want to help. And
Yeah.
like there's so many people who I'm so excited to introduce you to this week who
Can't
like
wait.
I would not have been able to become a
Yeah.
content creator full time
Yeah.
without these individuals who like showed me what a YouTube short was.
Yeah.
Or taught me how to edit in the TikTok app. Like
Yes.
I don't understand the genuine want for other people to do worse. Cause like people don't just
Yeah.
follow one people.
Yeah.
Or one person, one people. People don't follow, oh God, she used to be a teacher.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was social studies.
I was just
it
going to
wasn't
say that. It was like it was
English.
social studies.
Yeah, it's not. It's fine.
Oh my God, that's great.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
say things and I can just hear Kara. Wow, that sounded
Yeah.
just like her. Wow. But people don't follow just one
Yeah.
person, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can follow, like our content is similar in regards to the skits.
Exactly.
People could follow both of us. Like that's
And that's like
okay.
because we're both funny. That's a
Yeah.
very broad. That's like saying I can't follow two people that make me feel happy. Like, so you're not going to follow, your videos and a dog channel because you're both
Right.
feeling the same emotion.
Right.
I've put a lot of thought into that it's difficult to figure out someone's motivation for this. And I think this speaks a lot to the ridiculousness of beauty in general, or maybe the lack of originality, like unlike maybe teaching, and you're bringing your own experience every single day to your content, your own thoughts, and so you, Rebecca, are secure in the value you are bringing to your audience. And I think when someone is insecure about the value they're offering, because, drumroll, a lot of the content in beauty industries exactly the same, that insecurity causes you to either put other people down or have that, if I give to them, it's going to take away from me mentality.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And that's why I started doing the beauty content, because no one was doing it. And that's something I knew no one else was doing. And I had the value in that beauty comedy crossover. But the people that are just doing beauty content, and it's not that it's the same. You are bringing something unique to it. But if you're too insecure to understand that or realize what you yourself, your own experience or your own voice has to say, you're going to be insecure. So
Exactly.
I've always found the beauty people that are not that way, I give them a lot of credit, who do reach out to me, and I do have a relationship with them because I'm like, wow, good for you. You
Exactly.
know what you bring to the table. So being friends with anybody, giving them an opportunity or collaborating or whatever the case is, you know that's going to take nothing away from you.
Exactly.
Good for you. Yeah.
Like just yesterday, I was like, hey, A/B testing. This is what it is. This is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
This is how, like, we have sat on the phone
Yes.
and we've compared like podcast studio stories
Yes.
and like things to try and things to not. And it's just,
And that's the thing about you. I'm not intimidated to say, what the hell is A/B testing?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you have helped me more than anybody in the beauty industry. Totally. People outside of the beauty industry have helped me the most.
yes,
Completely.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Teacher TikTok is similar.
Yeah.
And I say that knowing that like Faith Bench taught me
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
like, she was in teacher TikTok world. But like outside of that, I have gotten more support and more genuine friendships than
Yeah.
people outside of my niche. Because
Yeah.
it's just so weird to see people like just want to not have that competition.
Totally.
And it's been very interesting seeing people in the teacher TikTok world that will take the help, because
Yes.
I've always wanted to be able to give back to someone else the way that Faith gave to me.
Yeah.
And I still, like, me and Faith still, like, to this day, like, this week,
Yeah.
we're like, hey, here's how we're going to tag team VidCon and, like, get
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
out of it. And it's been very interesting watching even, like, TikTok teachers in the world be very interested in hearing the help. But the
Yeah.
moment you ask for something in return, it's like,
Mm.
oh, yeah, I'll get back to you.
Wow.
And it's just
I know.
it's such a shame, you know.
really is.
And so, like, I want to know with
Yeah.
how far you've come in the beauty industry, not just in, like, the
Yeah.
actual makeup artist world,
Yeah.
but also on social media.
Yeah.
What is something that you've learned along the way that sticks out to you that you think would be beneficial to our listeners?
Yeah. The biggest takeaways from doing this, and you can relate to this, doing what we do, it's a little bit entrepreneurial. You are your own brand,
Yeah.
you're your own boss. The biggest takeaways I've taken is, figure out the why. Because if you
Yeah.
don't have the why, you are going to be miserable.
Yes.
If you hate your why, whether that's you're a librarian, you work a 9 to 5, you're an accountant, whatever, and you do want to go into something different, whether it's just another something or a dream or whatever the case is, in today's world, do something that there is a market for.
Yes.
Figure out where there is a hole in the market and then introduce what you can bring to the table. Because I see a lot of people doing the same, and we talked about this, about education, just like kind of step and repeat, pumping bachelor's degrees out, and it's just because that's the thing to do without a why. And I just see a lot of people doing the same thing everybody else is doing, going, why isn't it happening for me? Well,
yes.
what's what if I'm going to start a makeup line and I make a blush and it doesn't sell, there's 9 million other blushes. What, you're
Exactly.
surprised?
Yeah.
Figure out where that hole is, no matter what it is, no matter what your industry is, and figure out where there's a hole in the market and how can I
Yes.
deliver value in
Yes.
that way.
And
Yeah.
I feel like if you are just driven, hell-bent on doing something that is more of a saturated market, you need something that will make you unique.
Yes.
How are you going to stand out? There's 9
Yes.
million blushes. Why is your blush better than everyone else's?
Totally.
And whether it's working a 9 to 5, whether it's starting your own business, whether it's doing content creation, there's so many people that are like, well, I want to do X, Y, Z, and so I'm going to do exactly what these other people are doing. And I'm like, no, that is not the way to go about it. Again, whether it's 9 to 5, new business, content creation, you need something like all these beauty industries that are reviewing the same exact lip gloss, the same exact lip gloss.
And it's lip gloss.
Right. Like
Go
it's
buy
great. It's
$5
shiny.
lip gloss.
It's shiny, and after I eat, I need to reapply.
Yeah.
Like, what is it about you that people want to watch you over somebody else?
Exactly.
People fall in love with your personality.
Yeah.
You're funny. You offer that education, and you're not afraid to be a little bit silly.
Yes.
And do something that makes people laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, what is someone else doing? Like, that doesn't mean that other beauty influencers can't make skits. Their skits are still going to be different than yours.
Of course.
But, like, it's not just about, oh, well, it's a skit. Well, no, it's about your personality. It's about how you're willing to be silly and make fun of yourself. It's about the jokes and the punchlines. Like, these are all unique to you as a person, your sense of humor.
Yes.
How is your personality standing out in this sea of lip gloss?
Exactly. Yeah. And no one, that goes back to the insecurity or the security issue, is Meryl Streep never was intimidated to help another actor or actress out because she's Meryl Streep.
Right.
She knew she was Meryl Streep.
Exactly.
She doesn't need, she is not intimidated. She's not egotistical, but she is confident in her ability. And the other thing that speaks to what you're saying, the biggest lesson I've learned too in life, no matter what you're doing, you have to surrender your expectations.
Mhm.
You can't, because the best quote I've ever heard in my life are, expectations are premeditated resentments. And for me, when I blew up because of comedy, and then I also did beauty, and, comedy always did better. For the past couple months, I was kind of like shelving comedy because I was like, no, beauty, I want it. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm enslaving myself to the premeditated idea of who I thought I was going to be, when this filet mignon is on a platter and everyone's going, but we love this. And I'm going, no, I'd rather eat these ramen noodles because that's what I thought I wanted to eat 2 years ago. Surrender your expectations and allow your value, your passion, your why, and your skill to manifest or materialize opportunities and embrace them. Don't fight it and try to make a square peg fit in a round hole.
I'm going to be so vulnerable right now, and I'm going to give you a great example of that. This episode.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, again, I haven't even, while we're recording this, I haven't even officially launched yet. I'm still, like, recording a bunch of batches.
Yeah.
And I had it in my head, like, this whole podcast is going to be silly stories about people at work, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We haven't told a single one.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I had literally, no, that's okay. That's fine.
Yes.
Like, I literally went through this with, like, all of these stories
So
on my phone.
Yeah.
That I was like, yeah. And then I was like, you know what? No, this is so much better.
Yeah.
This is fun. And this is real.
I appreciate that.
And, like, I'm gonna not worry about it because, like, that's really what people want to know about these industries, like, the real solid truth. And you know what? There's room to make skits later, and there's room to put things in the comment section. But this real conversation about what's going on, what is real, is so raw
and rare.
No, exactly. Like, we don't. Just because I expected to put 4 stories in this, that doesn't mean that there has to be. And that's okay.
I know.
And going back to something we said during your podcast episode months ago when we were on yours, is what my dad said. My favorite quote.
You know how many people comment? My sister says it to me all the time now.
I love it. There's reasons and there's results.
Totally.
And you know what? You might have a reason of, well, these people got big with that kind of content, and these people might do all these lip glosses thing, and these people, like, there's so many reasons why your lip gloss video might be better.
Yeah.
Or your 9 to 5 might not be your favorite play. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
There's reasons and there's results.
Yes. Yes.
And you just have to do everything understanding that you could have a million reasons in the world, and none of them will matter.
Yep.
If it doesn't live up to those results.
And doesn't steer you towards a result. If you're commiserating about the reasons.
Like, here's my reasons that I didn't disclose my ad. It does not matter now.
Exactly.
These are the results.
Yeah.
Well, my lip gloss video came out first. It doesn't matter if it didn't do the best.
Yeah.
Now they're like, there's reasons and there's results.
Exactly.
Well, there's always so much drama in beauty industry. I don't want to reach out and make friends. Well, the result is now here is where we are in the beauty industry.
Exactly.
And it's very side-eye, whether it's intimidation or intimidated.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Those are just reasons.
Yeah.
That's the result. And that is where the beauty industry is at right now.
Completely. And trying to change the result takes conversations like this because people need to be aware of it because it's just so, it's weird. It's a lot of behind the scenes thing and it's a very gate kept industry, no matter what, in content creation in general. So but.
Absolutely. Well, is there any last minute things that you want to leave our listeners with in regards to things that if they didn't hear anything at all from this whole episode, what's one thing that you want them to know?
I said it already, but expectations are premeditated resentments. Surrender the expectations and just, I don't know. I think the older I get, the more in the moment I'm allowing myself to be because I just realized like, anything you're thinking about tomorrow or the day before does not matter. And you can plan for it, and you can, put things in place to be secure, take care of yourself. But the worry in the moment or the stress or the whatever the case is doing nothing to solve the problem, the reason and the result. So just, I don't know. I think we need to go into more experiences in our life with a little bit more,
of an open mind.
100%. Yes. And especially on social media too, I would also say start showing more love to people who are making longer content that has a little bit more of a story and a background and a purpose because, if all we're doing is consuming 30-second videos nonstop, imagine if TV shows were that. The quality would certainly deteriorate.
Yes. Netflix now has gone to like 8-episode seasons, and I'm like, what is this?
I know.
I hate it.
And we're either making something that should have been, 22 episodes horrible into 6, or making something that should have been an hour-and-a-half movie into 8 episodes, and you're like, totally, yes.
So season 3 needed to be
longer,
saying.
So engage with the kind of content you want to see more of in a way. Like, and I get we all want the silly content that makes us laugh, but try to balance your time a little bit between the silly stuff and the stuff that maybe has a little bit more, because I can't tell you how much the social media is affecting the way industries are literally operating. Like I said, beauty brands are making makeup based on what influencers want. They don't care about the consumers anymore. So that's the power. That is your viewing power. So, really
Do with
take it to
what you
heart.
will.
Yeah, totally.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I love you.
I love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Oh my
with
God,
us
of course. This
today.
was amazing.
This was so. I literally looked at my watch and I was like, oh my God, it's already been like an hour.
I know.
What
I know.
is that?
We could talk forever.
We really could.
Yeah.
We'll have to do this again sometime.
Anytime you
I
want.
love it. Oh, and thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yes.
We had so much. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yes.
And I hope to see you guys next week. Bye, my lovelies.